أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ولا تأكلوا أموالكم بينكم بالباطل وتدلوا بها إلى الحكام لتأكلوا فريقا من أموال الناس بالإثم وأنتم تعلمون. صدق الله العظيم. Yesterday we had completed the tafsir of 187 of Surah Al-Baqarah. Inshallah we'll complete the last part. And that is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions one hukum, one command regarding the i'tikaf that we perform. If we see that the month of Ramadan, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as it comes a hadith that the first month, the first 10 days is that of mercy from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then maghfirah, then najah, the emancipation from Jahannam. And as the days go by, if a person said that perhaps, I missed the first couple days, I wasn't able to get into that zone, as people say, I wasn't able to that ibadah, to that level. As the days go by, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when you come to the last 10 days, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's mercy increases even more, and yet another opportunity is given. What is that opportunity? That a person now physically cuts off from everything and anything, and the person comes to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's house and makes his declaration that, Ya Allah, I've presented myself in your court, Ya Allah, accept me. That's what this entire relationship is about. That's what all our ibadah is about. That's what your sadaqah is about. That is what your charity, all the a'mal, all the dhikr, all the tilawah, all of this. Why do we do this? What's behind it? Why do you have to pray? Why do you have to fast? Why do you do your hajj? And why are we doing all of whatever we're doing? All of this is to gain the ridha of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, proximity, qurba of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So in this world, obviously, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala obviously is not a physical being, so there is no physical closeness that a person can do. But one metaphorical way is that a person comes to the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the masajid, and the person declares that, Ya Allah, I am yours now. Ya Allah, I'm putting whatever time that I have. I left my family at home, I left my bedding, I left my work and all of this just for your sake. So a person presents himself to the court of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and a person performs that. That is what this i'tikaf is about. Inshallah, this coming Sunday we will have our i'tikaf seminar with Mufti Azaz. Inshallah, please do try to attend that also, and to learn more about it and the ahkam, the commands regarding it. So as far as this ayah of the Quran 187, the last part of it, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions one hukum, one command, and that is وَلَا تُبَاشِرُوهُنَّ وَأَنْتُمْ عَاكِفُونَ فِي الْمَسَاجِدِ. That whilst a person is in the state of i'tikaf, now those needs that the needs of a person that cannot be completed, for example, if a person is in an area where there is no one to bring food for them, no one is there to bring food, no one provides food for them, then it is obviously allowed for that person to leave the masjid, to go home and to get their own food. Alhamdulillah, in our masajid, the masjid provides. Most of us live close by, so family does send the food over, so that doesn't really apply perhaps to many of us in this situation over here. But many a times a person will find themselves in a situation, maybe in places which are not so populated, but it is sunnah ala al-kifaya, that upon the community, it's a sunnah, the entire community is responsible, that one person at least should be performing the i'tikaf. So in a not unpopulated area, for example, there's a person performing i'tikaf in a masjid. Now he has no one, obviously the masjid is not providing for him, there's no one there that can bring food for him. Then what this person can do, obviously, that during the iftar time after Maghrib, or for the preparation for that, he can go to his house or he can go to the store and purchase his food and come. So now in the situations where there would be nobody over there, and a person goes to their home, even if it may be at night, to get their food, during that time, say for example, a person is not, it's not the time of fasting, meaning it's after Maghrib and before Subh Sadiq. So during that night time, if a person goes, can a person have any relationships with his spouse? Would that be permissible? Meaning those that are not performing i'tikaf at home, for them we did the hukum before that at night time it is permissible. But that person who has said that now I am doing i'tikaf, but he's just coming home for this need, he's coming home for this need of picking up his food, for example, can he have any relation with his spouse? So the ayah of the Quran Kareem says, وَلَا تُبَاشِرُوهُنْ وَأَنْتُمْ عَاكِفُونَ فِي الْمَسَاجِدِ, that it is not permissible, that you may not have any relationships whilst you are doing i'tikaf fil masjid, in the masjid. So that's the meaning of the ayah, that when that person that goes there, obviously it is needless to say that in the masjid that such an act will obviously not be permissible. So the apparent translation is not what is intended over here, rather it is the situation and the scenario that we explained. وَلَا تُبَاشِرُوهُنْ وَأَنْتُمْ عَاكِفُونَ فِي الْمَسَاجِدِ. So the some ahkam of Sawm, some ahkam of fasting were mentioned, and one hukum over here of i'tikaf has also been mentioned. At the end of the ayah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, تِلْكَ حُدُودُ اللَّهِ فَلَا تَقْرَبُوهَا, that these are the parameters, the hudud that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has set. These are the boundaries of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, meaning a certain amount, certain things are permissible. Beyond that boundary, it's called impermissible, or that is haram. What is within that is called halal. What is outside of that, outside of those boundaries, those parameters, is what we call haram. So tilka hududullah. What should be a person's approach towards these hududullah? فَلَا تَقْرَبُوهَا, don't even come close to them. It's not that don't necessarily cross them, but if you don't come close to them, obviously you will not cross them. If you don't come close to them, you will not fall into them. The hadith of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, al-halalu bayyin wal-haram bayyin wa baynahuma umuru mushtabihat faman ittaqa shubuhat faqad istabra'a li dinihi wa 'irdihi. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said certain things which are halal, certain things which are haram, and then there are those gray areas that you can call. And those gray areas, what should a person do? Then you should stay far away from that. A person should stay far away from those gray areas. The same thing over here, تِلْكَ حُدُودُ اللَّهِ فَلَا تَقْرَبُوهَا, that these are the boundaries of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala set. So for example, during fasting, it is impermissible for a person to have any relationship. So then a person should also not caress and kiss and fondle, for example. Fuqaha mentioned that. Obviously that will not break the Sawm, as you probably heard in the seminar there, the fasting seminar that we had, the fiqh of fasting. But I'm saying from the ayah of the Quran Kareem, you can also understand it. The tilka hududullah, the hadith of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that a person cannot have any relationships. فَلَا تَقْرَبُوهَا, so a person should also not do those things which will lead to that. So each person can and understand that what that can lead to. تِلْكَ حُدُودُ اللَّهِ فَلَا تَقْرَبُوهَا كَذَلِكَ يُبَيِّنُ اللَّهُ آيَاتِهِ. In this manner, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala clearly explains, mentions His ayat, His signs, His verses, or the signs around us, لِلنَّاسِ, for the people, لَعَلَّهُمْ يَتَّقُونَ, so that a person, so that everyone may adopt taqwa. And at the end of the day, it is the consciousness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala which is objective. The next ayah of the Quran Kareem, over here, before this, we were discussing right now Sawm and i'tikaf. So that's physical eating that a person should stay away from, not eating food. Now in relation with that person who is also fasting, one is that fiqh of fasting that we heard about, right? The fiqh of fasting, meaning physically not eating, drinking, relationships. But then there's that inner dimension which we've also spoken about, the ruhaniyah, the spirituality of it, the inner dimension. So part of that inner dimension also is that a person's akhlaq, a person's character, a person, the way you deal with others. All of that should also be in line. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made these halal things haram for us during the time of fasting. Obviously what is haram will remain haram. Rather that to commit those becomes even worse. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala now immediately after these ahkam mentions what? وَلَا تَأْكُلُوا أَمْوَالَكُمْ بَيْنَكُمْ بِالْبَاطِلِ. That just as it was haram for you to eat food at this time and you're fasting, and a believer does not do so, then even more so, or just as a person has consciousness of that, you should have a consciousness of this hukum, this command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also, that do not eat each other's wealth up unjustly. وَلَا تَأْكُلُوا أَمْوَالَكُمْ بَيْنَكُمْ بِالْبَاطِلِ. Do not consume one another's wealth by false means. One is that physical eating, which is haram. Now over here, the Quran Kareem introduces another, and that is eating of someone else's wealth. We also use this, and that in Urdu they definitely use this. Duse ka mal khalena. So that khalena, you don't necessarily have to eat in someone else's wealth. What that means is to take it with unjust means, through impermissible means. So وَلَا تَأْكُلُوا أَمْوَالَكُمْ بَيْنَكُمْ بِالْبَاطِلِ. That do not take or do not consume, do not usurp each other's wealth, بالباطل, by false means, by impermissible ways. The hadith of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam in Tirmidhi, من أكل طيبا وعمل في سنة وأمن الناس بوائقه دخل الجنة. That person, من أكل طيبا, whoever eats طيب, pure, halal. One is, we said that in itself it should be halal, and it should be earned through halal ways also. That person who does three things. One, that he eats halal, so both dimensions. He eats halal, وعمل في سنة, he practices upon the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and وأمن الناس بوائقه, and people are safe from all his misdeeds. Then that person دخل الجنة. That person will enter into Jannah. Very simple process. That person eats halal, person eats good, then good a'mal will also come out of this person's, the person will also practice upon good things. وَعَمِلَ فِي سُنَّةٍ, that goes without saying. The person who adopts the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. وَأَمِنَ النَّاسُ بَوَائِقَهُ, that person, when you think about good deeds and sunnah, it's not just your ibadat, it's not just the worship, rather others should also be safe from that person. المسلم من سلم المسلمون من لسانه ويده. The one description that Rasulullah gives regarding the Muslim is that that Muslim is, who is a Muslim? المسلم من سلم المسلمون من لسانه ويده. The other Muslims are safe from his tongue and from his actions, from his hands. So the ayat of the Quran Al-Kareem is also introducing that لا تأكلوا أموالكم بينكم بالباطل. And the ayah also indicates at the same time towards a very bad culture that has become in certain countries. That the Quran, the ayah is saying that do not eat each other's wealth amongst yourselves, meaning that it shouldn't become something which is happening mutually. But how will it start? It will start with each person individually. That if one person, for example, unjustly takes another person's wealth, for example through cheating. So say for example a person is selling milk and he mixes that with water without telling someone. Everyone thinks that he's selling pure things, but he's mixing it. Now when this person goes to buy cloth, then he'll also be sold what? Mixed cloth, that which is not pure. Now this cloth merchant, when he goes, for example, to buy something else, then he also will get cheated. And this system will continue and continue, and the entire society, what will happen? Everyone cheats one another. And at the end of the day, what do you have? The أكل الأموال بينكم بالباطل. What the ayah of the Quran Al-Kareem say? Why? The person who's selling milk said, I'm going to get cheated anyways. I'd rather cheat someone else. That someone, I will have to pay them unjustly to get my haqq, so let me also take from someone else unjustly. Tomorrow someone else will come steal from my house, let me steal from that person, that if it's allowed. So now what happens? The entire system of أكل الأموال بالباطل is going on. This happens in many societies. So the Quran Al-Kareem is saying that it should start at the individual level. Each person says that someone else can do the dhulm, someone else will do the injustice. I will stay away from it. A second person thinks in the same manner. The third person thinks in the same manner. Only like that reformation can happen. But if each person says that no, it should start, reformation start from the next, and that person says from the third, and it goes to the fourth, then like that, the society will never change. لا تأكلوا أموالكم بينكم بالباطل وتدلوا بها إلى الحكام. This also, there's a sabab nuzul, a cause of revelation of this ayah, that once Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, two people came and they quarreled and they came to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. There was a dispute over some wealth. So the person who had the dispute, who brought the dispute, he wasn't able to bring any proof forward. He said, "This is mine. This is my wealth. He has taken it. Do I have any witnesses? No, I do not have. But this is mine." Now the court system in the Islamic system of justice is that person who was unable to provide any witnesses, the shahada, then the defendant, he'll have to take qasam, he'll have to take an oath, and if he takes it, then it will be given to that person, meaning that person will keep it. So someone, there's a defendant and there's a claimant. If the claimant cannot bring any shahada, any witness forward, then the defendant, he will have to take his qasam, and the item will remain by him. He'll take an oath, and the item, for example, if it's a physical thing, he'll stay by that person. So this person comes to Rasulullah and he says, "It's mine." Rasulullah asked, "Do you have any witnesses? Do you have any shahada?" He says, "I don't have any bayina, I don't have any witness." And so then it goes to the defendant. The defendant takes his oath, and Rasulullah decides in that person's favor, as is the hukum of the Sharia. But with that, Rasulullah adds that that you bring your quarrels to me, your disputes to me, and I give judgment based on zahir, based on the apparent. I give judgment based on the apparent. Meaning, me as a judge, Rasulullah in his capacity as a judge at that point, he said, I can only give based on what is apparent. If you're able to bring the proof, the witnesses, then I can give judgment based on that. But if you don't have any, then I have to give judgment based on the apparent. If one person steals from another in the dark of the night and there's no one else around, no one will know who's really the one that is saying the truth. So Rasulullah says that in nahkum bil zahir, that we can only give hukum, we can only give judgment based on what is apparent. However, if I give this judgment in someone else's favor and it is without any haqq, without any right, and this hadith also, ulama have made istidlal from this, that Rasulullah did not have ilm al-ghayb. If Rasulullah had ilm al-ghayb, he had the ilm of the unseen, then he wouldn't be saying this, that I only judge based on the apparent. Continue forward. So Rasulullah adds to that if I give someone this wealth and I give judgment in his favor, then إنما قطعنا له قطعة من نار, أو كما قال صلى الله عليه وسلم. So it's as if I have cut a piece out for this person from the fire of Jahannam. So even though a person may win the case even in an Islamic court, that doesn't make it halal for that person. So a person has all the false evidences on his side, her side, that doesn't make it halal for you. Even at the end of the day, it may be judged in your favor. So, the Quran Kareem says, وَتُدْلُوا بِهَا إِلَى الْحُكَّامِ, that you take these false accusations towards the hukam meaning the rulers, لِتَأْكُلُوا فَرِيقًا مِّنْ أَمْوَالِ النَّاسِ, so that you eat up, so that you consume someone else's wealth unjustly, بِالْإِثْمِ, by means of sin, وَأَنْتُمْ تَعْلَمُونَ, whilst you also know that this is the truth. Make dua that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us the tawfiq to only consume with that which is our right, that which is halal, and that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keep us away from all means of haram.